Hi everyone, welcome to round 2 from Manchester, where I was hoping to bounce back and hopefully I can play my beloved French defence in the quest to win the last 4 games to try and get a chess check. My opponent was Cecil Sloan, who's from the United States actually, but lives in Watford, which as you know is near London. So we come a long way. He is of 140 ECF rating, which is lower than me, so I need to win even with the black pieces. And hopefully, seeing this is from the States, which is quite appropriate given I'm going there on Thursday, then maybe I'll get a corn dog if I win. So let's get on with it. He played 1 e4, so my heart rate goes up even more because I whop out 1 e6, d4, d5, and now of course this is a bit where actually I get a bit scared because I'm worried they might play e takes d5, completely spoil it. But then he played knight c3, so we're going to do a very sharp winner with variation. Now he plays e5, and I play c5. So I'm like, is it going to be a poison pawn? Go on. Nope, sadly not. No poison pawn for me today. Instead it's going to be the very dull variation, the winner, where white does not want to have the structural damage that you get in the main line after a3, bishop c3, but he also doesn't want the bishop pair. I played knight e7. Interestingly enough, I've been told this is actually the best move. But I'm guessing after knight b5, you don't take the bishop on d2 in this line, because if you do, then you can't stop white's knight coming to d6 with check. Although I think you can't actually allow that, but I think you play something like bishop. I put the bishop back on f8 or something. Might take this and then bring the knight out. So it's another game. Maybe knight takes, b takes, f4, something like that. Anyway. You can also put the knight in h6 as well, but I stuck to what I knew, knight e7. So the point is that knight b5, failing to come into d6 with check. I played bishop takes d2, queen takes d2, and castled. Because in the French, knight d6 is only dangerous if it comes with check. Like, it's not dangerous if you've castled, because you can usually undermine the knight either by playing f6 to aim at the point that's supporting it, or you can maneuver your knight around from to c8. You can move the bishop. What you do is you move the knight, move the bishop, protect b7 in with the rook or something, and then play knight c8 to undermine it. And now if white plays d takes c5, the best move actually is to gambit with b6. C takes b6, queen takes b6. Black is miles ahead, it's going to end up quite far ahead in development, with lots of open lines for the pawn. White played knight f3, which is not good. In this line you play f4 to support the e5 pawn before you play knight f3. And then a6, knight d6, c takes d4. Knight f3 is the main line. White will regain this pawn. And we get a very interesting position where white's got potential attacking chances on the king's side. The bishop will come to d3, pawn to h7. Black can look forward to his usual f6 undermining and develop his king-queen side, and black gets sufficient counter chances with f6, real quickly timed f6. T unit instead, after knight f3. Yeah, I played knight bc6. T unit's me, by the way. And now my opponent played a very bad move. Again, if d takes c5 with the gambit. Now, I think white should set up c3 in this position, as you're going to see. After cd, f6 looks quite good. Because now white's not played f4, so white can take and make my a6 pawn weak and get an e5 square after rook takes f6. I also get the f file. And the knight can't come to d6 either, so after bishop d3, kick the knight, and then park my queen on c7. I'll play a park queen on d6 for a good position. He played bishop e2. I mean, even if this move didn't blunder a pawn to a6, he's winning the e5 pawn at the end. As you're going to see, this would be a bad move anyway, because the bishop always goes to d3 in this line. a6. And now if the knight comes into d6, then that's actually very bad, because I've taken the e5 pawn, which undermines it. So he played knight back to c3. I took. And now I looked at it. I wonder if he can play knight a4 and just keep his e5 pawn protected, but he's attack it again and it can't be defended. So he took and I took an e5. So I've won the centre pawn. But I do like white get some compensation for some very poor play over the next few moves. After castling, I played knight 7 c6. rook ad1, and now I took and put my knight back on g6, which is not a good square, because I think now he should have played f4, and my knight is actually quite vulnerable to f5, undermining my d5 pawn. So I think I've got to play knight back to e7, which is another move with knight. And maybe he can even start playing g4, and a lot might be too crazy. White needs to do something because he's a pawn behind. He played rook d3, trying to get a rook left across, but this rook just ends up out of play. I played bishop d7, getting the bad French bishop into the game, and if his knight moves, then bishop b5 will get pieces off. Rook fd1. So the problem is now is that I want to utilise my extra pawn in the centre, but I can never actually play e5 because there's that many pieces on d5. And now I had a long think and actually came up with the best move, which is queen c7. In some lines, my queen shoots off to f4 and a4 and e5 to try and get the queens off, because of course I'm a pawn up, and white's queen is more active than mine. And also, just a good square for the queen, it gets the rooks connected and completes my development. Rook swung across to g3. I played bishop c6, so of course now I'm threatening e5 because it's on his queen, and d4 with strong play and opening my bishop up, so he moves his queen. And now I got a bit worried that white's just going to play h4, h5 and hack me up, so I played queen f4, where it's practically forces the queen swap because I can follow his queen wherever it goes. So he took. That comes into a good square with tempo. And now I said after the game that he should play bishop f1 in this position. But actually I don't think that's a very good suggestion actually, because I played this immediate e5, which I missed when I was looking at the game. The reason is he played bishop f3, which keeps e5 under control, but the problem is his rook's looking very stupid and can easily be trapped in some lines. And also my plan with bishop f1 was to move the rook to e3 or something and then play g3 and bishop g2, but of course I've always got e5 in first. Rook ad8 was played. The point is to threaten to play e5, and I played knight e2, which although it's actually given as the best move because it challenges my strong knight, I play knight takes e2, bishop takes e2, e5, and now the centre's again rolling forward, and next is going to be d4, opening the bishop up, so he played c3 to stop that, and in fact I can play anyway actually, so actually it doesn't stop it. So the reason I couldn't count how many pieces are on the pawn, but I don't think I'd have played it anyway, because now although I've got a passed pawn, it's isolated and it might drop off if I'm not careful, so I want to play it anyway. But yeah, I did it. I'd rather bounce and forget that I can play d4 anyway. So I played f5, getting another pawn into the attack, and trying to get him more closer to maybe bouncing his rook. So maybe a good move in this position is to play h4. So the point is to play rook h3, rook h1, king h2, and then rook back into the game. It's slow, but I'm not threatening anything yet anyway. He played rook e3, which attacks his pawn, and I thought if I play e4, I thought he's got to move f4, and it's hard to make progress. He's playing his rook on d4 next as well. Got a bit of a blockade, and my bishop's completely bad. So I played rook f8 because I don't want it, as I want to, if he plays f4, I want to be able to take it and win a pawn. And then I can play g5, and now with 2 pawns up. He played king f1, which I did not understand. I decided to play f4. And I played rook ed3. I was very stuck in this position, because if I play e4, he plays rook d4 and it's sort of hard to make progress. Bishop b5 drops the pawn, but I played rook e6. So basically my plan is I want to transfer the rook to the king's side and try and create some threats. And also it was a bit of a waiting move, to be honest, because I wonder what his next move would be actually. I was a bit because I thought it was quite hard to find a move. I only played g4, which is actually not quite a blunder yet, but it was followed up in the way which it was followed up. It is a blunder, because I play rook g6, and actually the point is now his bishop has to go back to e2. That's the only move. And okay, and d4 is actually not as good as it looks, because he just plays f3, and now he's got a blockade again, because my counter can c3, so my rook's pinned. So but he played bishop f5 attacking the rook, and that actually completely loses the game. So why does it lose the game? Pause the video. Quite simple actually, but it's hard to think of a test for this game. The simple reason it loses is because after rook f6, he cannot simultaneously protect his bishop and the threat of bishop b5 when in exchange due to the pin. He played bishop e4, and I resigned after bishop b5 because, of course, if he plays bishop takes d5 check, I just take it because his rook's pinned. and otherwise he's dropping the exchange and he's already down a pawn, so he decided to throw in the towel. So it was a nice, fairly quick 29 move win with the French to get back to winning ways, and my first real win for a long time. I did beat a 111 in the league, but first win over like something like 114 above for a while. So I was quite happy. It was quite a good game. No blunders and some 1 or 2 slight inaccuracies, which didn't prove costly. So still always a pawn up, and I was quite happy with this game. And hopefully I can win the next 3. So if you want to see if I did do that, then please check out the next videos. But for now, please leave any comments and thoughts. Thanks very much. And I think I did end my corn dog then.